today we're going to continue on with multiplying decimals by a whole number. We're going to do some review quick of our area model, and then we're going to move kind of more into a mix of a standard algorithm with some units in there. Okay, so we're going to start with, we're going to connect to one, right? 31 times 4. So we're going to make some connections to some whole numbers here. So remember, if I make an area model here, I'm going to put my 4 on the side here. I'm going to break this up into, this is 3 tens and plus 1 1. So this is our area model. Then 4 times 3 tens is 12 tens. And 4 times 1 is 4 ones. And when I put that in, that's unit form. When I put it in standard form, 12 tens looks like 12 plus, and then 4 ones just looks like 4. So when I add those together, I have 124. Okay, so we're going to use those same digits and throw a decimal in there. So now I'm going to say 3 and 1/10 times 4. So I'm going to draw my area model again. I'm going to put my 4 over here and my 2 columns. Now this is 3 ones plus 1/10. So now my unit has changed, right? Once I put my decimal place in there. So 4 times 3, and this is now 12 ones. And 4 times 1 is 4, and it's 4/10. So now 12 ones looks like 12, plus 4/10 is 0.4. And so my answer is 12.4. So you see that the digits are the same because my digits are the same in my original problem. But now my decimal, so if I'm multiplying by tenths, my answer should be in tenths, right? So that's kind of the key we're looking for here. So now what we're going to do is we're going to multiply 31 hundredths times 4. So we'll see if we see a pattern here. So draw your box. Draw your 2 lines. I'm going to put my 4 over here. This is now 3/10 plus 1/100th. So 4 times 3 is 12, and my unit is tenths. 4 times 1 is 4, and my unit is hundredths. It's okay if you go outside the box there. Then I'm going to put it in unit form. So 12/10 looks like 1.2 plus 400ths looks like 0.04. And when I add those together, I get 1 and 24 hundredths. Okay, so that is us using that area model. Now we're going to kind of use standard algorithm with some units to help us. So remember, if the original problem is in hundredths, my answer needs to be in hundredths. If the original problem is in tenths, my answer should be in tenths. Okay, I'm going to flip my page. So now we're going to do 5 and 1/10 times 6. And we're going to do it in standard algorithm so you can kind of see what I'm talking about. So we're going to put this, we're going to put 51. We're not going to think about the decimal. And we're going to put 51 tenths. I can rewrite that as 51 tenths times 6. Right? And we're just going to bring our units down, that word down, into our answer there. So now we are just going to multiply like we've been working on regular, our 1s times 1. So 6 times 1 is 6. And 6 times 5, remember it's really a 50, is 30. So it's 306 tenths. Now, because it says tenths here, that means I need a decimal. And that means that I need a decimal in there. And it means I have to have one digit after my decimal. That means I need a decimal. So I'm going to now pull it down even more. And I'm going to write 306 tenths or 30 and 6 tenths. If you're struggling to remember where that decimal goes, then I can get my place value chart. 306 tenths, that means this 6 has to be in my tenths column. So I can pull my place value chart up. My 6 has to go in the tenths, and I can go backwards to write my number. And then that can help me figure out what my standard form should look like. Okay, so let's try another one. So we're going to do 11 and 4/10 times 4. So remember, because it's in tenths, my answer should be in tenths. So I'm going to write 114 tenths times 4. And so because there is in tenths, this needs to be tenths. So then I just now get to multiply how we've always multiplied by. 4 times 4 is 16. I leave my ones. I regroup the tens. 4 times 1 is 4, plus 1 is 5. 4 times 1 is 4. So my answer is 456 tenths. But for me to write it in standard form, I need to put my decimal, right? I have to have one digit after that decimal. So that is where that will go. Okay, let's try one in the hundredths. So again, if the original problem's in tenths, my answer should be tenths. Let's try one in the hundredths now. If I have 3 and 12 hundredths times 4. So I rewrite it over here. I'm going to write it 312 hundredths. So I'm not worrying about the decimal place right now. I'm writing it in unit form. Times 4. Write my multiplication problem how we've always done it. I'm going to bring down my units already into my answer there. Okay, and then I just start to multiply. 4 times 2 is 8. 4 times 1 is 4. 4 times 3 is 12. So my answer is 1,248 hundredths. And again, to be in hundredths, if we look at our chart, I'm going to bring out my place value chart. To be in hundredths, that means I need my 8 in the hundredths place. So I'm going to write an 8 there, and I can work my way backwards. 4, 2, 1. So I know it's 12.48 in standard form. So now I can write 12.48. Okay, so that is our lesson for today.